Hi, I'm Charles Frazier for this special for Community Report. Thank you for watching on this station that you're watching on. Now, do us a favor, pick up your telephone, give your friend a call or family member, tell them to tune in to this station because we have a very fine broadcast for you tonight. We are going to give you a broadcast from the third week of football here in Knox County. It's a contest with the AE Roadrunners and the Fulton Falcons. So as we're preparing to bring you the game, you're looking at us live. What an exciting time it is. What a beautiful evening. And we thank God for you. We thank God for you watching. And we want you to stay tuned to us because we have this great broadcast for you. It's football time right here with the Roadrunners. Fulton High School is getting ready to kick off. The Falcons are lined up to kick it off. Now Austin-East lined up to receive. And looking at your radio, Fulton is kicking off from your left and Austin-East is coming the opposite direction on offense. We're about to begin the game right here. What a beautiful evening for football.
Yes, it is. The weather is, the humidity is kind of going down a little bit. It will continue as the game goes along. We're off to the running.
And the ball is kicked and picked up at the 1 yard line. Coming down very quickly for Austin-East, moving the ball and going down the sideline and kicked out at the 26-yard line for AE is Williams. And Williams showed a lot of quickness.
That was a good return, Charles. He returned upfield, got what he could, and Austin-East going to start out with really good field position on their first drive.
Well, the ball did land on the ground, and sometimes, players are looking up to see where they're going to go. He focused on picking up the ball, and he went for it. Last game, we had a lot of quick offense. Reminded me of Oregon. Oregon used to move the ball every 15 seconds from the time that it ended for one play to the next. So Anderson County moved the ball fast. Austin-East coming out of huddle, lined up. And as we said, Keyshawn Johnson is the quarterback coming out to the wide as they've spread the field is Williams, number 2, facing us. Offense is set by a shotgun with Keyshawn looking over at his offensive coordinator. And we're going to tell you that the head coach of the AE Roadrunners is Jeff Phillips, and the defensive coordinator is McAllister, and the offensive coordinator is Costin. And here we go, folks. As Austin-East is in the shotgun, getting ready to take the snap. First play, and the ball is snapped. Johnson hands the ball off. The ball goes only for about 3 or 4 yards. He is swarm tackled, and AE is going to have a second down as the helmet even comes off of the AE player. The AE player with the ball was Parker for the Roadrunners. They're one of their speedy running backs. But Fulton did a good job in surrounding the football.
Yeah, a little misdirection. He's trying to bring it up second and 6. Front 7 on that first drive, open it up like you said in shotgun as if they were going to throw it and try to do a little misdirection with the run game.
We've got a second down coming up, and again, Johnson in a shotgun, looking down the field, and as he looks, takes position, takes a snap, it goes right to the running back, and a quick stop by the Falcons, and the ball actually a loss of 4 yards, so now it will be 3rd down and 14. So I'd say, Jarvis, that play didn't fool them at all.
It looked like Fulton was ready for that one, but I like the aggressiveness of Austin-East trying to see if they can get anything on the ground to make these 3rd down conversions a little bit easier. You don't like too many 3rd and longs against a defense like this.
Do you think this is a passing down?
14 yards to go. 14. Yeah. Possibly.
Austin-East lined up, Johnson in the shotgun, looking over the defense. Fulton comes very quickly from the right side, defensive end. Johnson tries to throw a screen. It gets off. Coming down the field is Williams going left, and he has run for exactly about a 7-yard gain. And Williams did weave through a lot of traffic to get the gain that he did, but that's going to bring up a 4th down and 6. So I'm sure at this position, Austin-East will probably kick the football.
I like the play call, though. That was a nice, safe throw. Fulton looked like they had something there by design. Austin-East threw the ball back across the field. And that was a pretty good run, tough run. It's not too many play calls you have for a 3rd and 14 type of situation. They got the most out of it. Now they're going to play the field position game.
Austin-East getting ready to kick the football off to Fulton. This will be Fulton's first possession. And that was a screen play on that last play, and it was done very well by Johnson just to get the football up. The ball goes back for the kicker. It's kicked in the air, traveling about 32 yards and gets a funny bounce. Bounces backwards to the 26-yard line. Will Fulton have its first possession of the ball? Jarvis, I'm looking for Austin-East to do a better job on defense. Last week they weren't able to get any stops in the first 6 possessions Anderson County scored, so we're looking for Austin-East to bear down right here.
And I think part of Austin-East is they're playing both ways. They got a lot of players who playing offense, defense, so I think endurance is going to be a key, especially in humidity like this.
We have Austin-East lined up with a very deep safety, Ben Ligon. So we're going to see what he comes up to the right side of the field. Fulton takes a snap, shotgun, throws the ball out deep left. Tackle is made, and he is swarmed by a host of road runners, and that's going to be a loss on the play of 4 yards. The ball was thrown right to the right side of the field. It was thrown to Williams, and he was very quickly tackled. What an impressive move by Austin-East on defense. And we have Fulton, the Falcons, lined up to go second down. They looked over to get a play, lined up and getting the offense set. Very big offensive line. Fulton looking over the defense, takes a snap quickly, fakes a pass, throws a bomb, and Austin-East gets a hand on it, does Williams, and the ball is not intercepted but knocked down in the air. And, you know, that was a cover, too, on the defense. We had Ligon that was behind Williams, and it was very excellent play. I'm not going to say it was a lot of pressure on the line defensively for Fulton, but it was an excellent play by the defensive backs.
Let's make some noise! The attention to detail from Austin-East tonight that we didn't see last Friday. If you're an A fan, you've got to be excited right now with the level of assistance they're playing.
Fulton takes a snap, hands the ball off this time, coming very quickly to his left, gaining yards is Fulton, going down the sideline, number 5 for the Falcons, and that would be Davis, Rollins Davis. Now, he is a track star, and I want to tell you, Jarvis, we saw that on the play. It was a simple handoff. He took the left side of the field and quickly made movement down the field for a 1st and 10. And the Falcons taking the ball over at the 45-yard lines. And it's going to be a procedure call, illegal procedure, as Fulton definitely was in a hurry at that time. And it was Williams that took off really quick from the left side. The offensive end split out. So it is illegal procedure, backing the ball up. So Austin-East had held the Falcons to a 3rd down, but they did get a long run for that 3rd down, Jarvis.
Daryl Rollins Davis, legitimate Division I prospect, and he showed by on that last run there. Just spectacular, making nothing out of something.
Backfield lined up, and we get a snap, shotgun snap, and looking down the field, going to our left now, he takes off and runs the Fulton quarterback, and the quarterback being Smith, and he is downed. So with this play, it's going to bring a 2nd and about 11 yards to go. So Austin-East did permit 4 yards to be gained on that play. And the Falcons, like many teams now in America, both high school, college, and pros, lining up very quick on the ball, looking over to get a play as a quarterback. Coming in, and now coming in a shotgun. Fulton lined up 2 wide receivers far right, getting ready to take the snap as the Falcons look over the field, take the snap off, give it off, and the ball going down the field, making a very beautiful move going down the field is Rollins Davis. And he moved the ball for about 28 yards, getting a 1st down is Rollins Davis. He's not a very big running back, but sure a very speedy running back is Rollins Davis.
Yeah, the sidestep is his favorite move, at least so far in this game. He is sidestepping defenders down the field.
Lined up now, 1st down and 10. The 28-yard line, the Falcons looking over the quarterback to take a snap. The quarterback being Smith. Penny Smith takes the snap, looks to his left. He's been tackled for a loss. Penny Smith, and what a beautiful speed move by Parker. And that's one of those situations, I think, that they said passing situation by the formation. And we had coming around it's actually a blitz play, looking from Parker coming from his left to make the tackle. Excellent tackle.
Fulton's too talented offensively to just sit back and play zone coverage. Sometimes you just got to go get the quarterback. That's what Austin-East did.
makes a second down and about 15 yards to go for the Falcons. AE holding up on that first down. The Falcons looking to take the snap. They take the snap in the shotgun, looking down, throwing the ball to their left. The ball is bounced off the receiver and incomplete. That was an opportunity for an interception as the Falcons were throwing the ball to Williams, and it came off of his hands. Dominique, I just don't think saw the ball correctly because it was really on the money. Looks like he didn't look it in.
Didn't come down with the now Fulton's ready for the next down.
Third down, Fulton taking the ball under center, coming out and faking a handoff. The Falcons looking down, throwing the ball to their left. The ball is dropped, and that, again, was a good pass. That pass thrown to Marshall, and it would have been just about a 10, 11-yard gain if he had caught the ball, but he dropped the ball. So there was field in front of him. Now that makes it fourth down and about 15 yards to go. So coming in with the punting team are the Falcons. Falcons will be punting the ball. And this is Roth, Jonathan Roth, their punter, going to punt the ball there in a punting formation. The Roadrunners retreat to receive the ball very deep, and it should go to the end zone. Let's see how they handle this on the punt. Ball getting ready to come back for the punter. It goes in the air. The punter receives it, takes his time, kicks the ball short, looking at the ball, and it bounces in the end zone. Let's see if the official calls that or calls it at the 1. The official is measuring, and he does call it a touchback. It was kind of a delay. One official looked at the other official, and I felt like it shouldn't have been a delay. I saw it bounce in from my perspective, but they did call it a touchback, which means that the Roadrunners will get the ball on the 20-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 Roadrunners. Keyshawn Johnson coming up. He steps up to center and then steps back. He's in the shotgun, looks over the field, has two wideouts to the left, takes the snap, hands the ball off, coming down the field, and is very quickly swarmed and goes down for about a 2-yard gain. That would be Johnson on the carry, and he was swarmed by about 3 Falcons.
But I like the patience of Austin-East right now. They're not getting in a hurry. They're not putting their quarterback in situations that he doesn't need to be in. They're taking their time. You're not always going to break long runs. 2-3 yards here and there is not a bad thing.
2nd down and 8 for the Roadrunners. Johnson looks over the defense. It's a 4-3. Looks like a little bit of movement. A little flanker pass out to Williams. Williams trying to break a tackle. He's swarmed by 4 Falcons and goes out of bounds. Looks like he gains about 5 yards on this play. Let's see where it's marked by the officials. That seems to be a bread and butter play. They like coming left, as you notice, but you're dealing with a left-handed quarterback also is Keyshawn Johnson for the Roadrunners.
All safe throws right now for Austin-East quarterback.
3rd down and 4 Roadrunners. Roadrunners looking. Keyshawn slaps his hand. Johnson motions, no offsides, looks back over to the AE offensive coordinator and looking to his right, slaps his hand again. Johnson takes a snap, looks left, comes back to the other side of the field, reversing the field, coming down the field, a Roadrunner, but he is pursued and tackled is Cantrell for the Roadrunners. That actually is about a 4-yard loss. So at this position on the field, Austin-East will have to kick the ball. So it was definitely a loss. The Roadrunners really are playing a lot left-handed. Not very much more going to the right. That's the first pass that I've seen complete to the right side of the field. A lined up to punt the ball, and they will be punting the ball from the end zone. So standing about 1 yard deep in the end zone will be the Roadrunners, and it looks like Cantrell is taking the snap for the punt, and he punts the ball, gets it off. The punt is really short. It's fielded at the 41-yard line down to the 38 and tackled by James of the Roadrunners. So AE does make containment on the punt. It's always dangerous with special teams. Punts, kicks, you have to make a tackle.
Special teams are huge. part of the game of football. But I will say this about Austin-East right now. I like the play calling, offensively, the patience, but they can't reverse the field like they did on that third down. You can't do that against defense like Fulton.
The Falcons lining up on offense. Very quick moving game on offense. AE trying to get a defensive player on, and he comes back off the field. Does Neal. Falcons take a snap, coming down the field. It's number 5 on your program for the Road Runners. That's Rollins Davis. And I will say again, the best way to describe his movement is quick. Swarm tackled is Davis Rollins.
When they tried to hit him with the reverse there, it looked like Austin-East snuffed it out, but they didn't wrap up on the tackle, and Joe Rollins Davis fell forward.
Lined up and taking the ball in a shotgun, or the Falcons with the quarterback moving the ball very quickly down the field. Looks like he's going to go 5, 4, 3, fumbles the ball at the 2-yard line, and the ball is covered by the Falcons. It looked like clear selling for the quarterback for the Falcons, but he did fumble the ball, and it was recovered by the Falcons. So it'll be first and goal from about the 2-yard lines for the Falcons. And again, this is a fast-moving game. The Falcons already lined up at the football at the 2-yard line, going into the end zone, looking for the Falcons, throwing the ball to the left, and touchdown Falcons. Very well thrown pass. It was just a practice throw and catch, and first 6 points of the game for the Falcons.
One of the things, Charles, that stands out to me about that offensive possession by Fulton, they started on Austin-East 50 side of the field, 50-yard line of the field, short field, moved down there, and fumbled the ball. Austin were unable to recover, and Fulton made them pay with the touchdown.
And that was Ferguson on the catch for the Falcons, his first touchdown tonight. And the Falcons on the board. The score is 6-0, lining up for the kick. The snap goes down, and the kick is good. So the score tonight is, for the first score of this game, the Fulton Falcons 7, the AE Roadrunners 0. And this has been a really fast-moving quarter. Austin-East really did well, but this was, as you said, Jarvis, is an opportunity for the Falcons, and the opportunity came in good field position. And the whistle is blown, so we're about to have the ball kicked down the field for the Falcons. Ball going down the field. Good kick, backing up the AE player, Williams, looking and sizing up the field, taking off now, looking to his left, running left, swarm tackled by about 7 Falcons as he goes down for the count there, but he does gain about 6 yards. So AE will be lined up with the ball first and 10, about the 12-yard line. Jarvis, that was a good punt. That was a good kickoff coverage for the Falcons.
And if you're Austin-East, you're thrilled right now that they're kicking the ball to you. We saw last week Anderson County kicking the ball on the side, kicking it short. They're actually giving Austin-East a chance to return, so you got to be excited.
You know, it's a more favorable spot there on the ball than I thought. It looks like they've lined it up on the 16-yard line. First and 10 Road Runners. Road Runners lined up. Keyshawn Johnson in the shotgun. Keyshawn Johnson picks up his left foot, puts it down, looks, but takes the snap, hands the ball off. AE going to the right, and it's going to be a loss on the play by the Road Runners. And it was a quick handoff and quick movement, and Parker was stopped very quickly on the play by the linebacker for Fulton High School, and the linebacker in that case being Roth.
It didn't look like Austin-East's offensive line got enough push. It really didn't give that play much of a shot.
In the shotgun, again, the Road Runners. It'll be 2nd and 14 yards to go. It's a loss of 4 on the play. AE lining up and looking as Johnson over the field, getting ready to take the snap, takes the snap, rolls to his left, takes off with the ball to his left, and swarm tackled, and Johnson only gaining a couple of yards. Leading the way on the tackle for the Falcons is Tate. So the Road Runners not able to make any progress offensively with the ball. Not much at all to talk about, Jarvis. And
they're in a 3rd and long situation. So if you're Austin-East, you still want to go for the high percentage pass. Don't force anything because you're backed up inside the 20 right now.
And AE, we have a penalty on the field against the Falcons, and the penalty was face mask. I didn't see the flag go down, did you? But they did pick up a flag,
That's
mark
an
up.
automatic first down.
That is an automatic first down and 10 Roadrunners, and the ball now spotted at the 28-yard line for the Roadrunners. And the Roadrunners really getting help right there because the field position is so important in any game. So now they have a much better opportunity taking the ball to the 28-yard line and trying to drive it to the end zone. Lined up in a shotgun is Johnson, takes a snap, looks to his left, fakes a pass, throws the ball long, and overthrows Williams on the pass. But I want to tell you that Johnson has a real beautiful arm. In this case, I want to also give credit to the Falcons. They played the ball as you would train anybody that's playing defensive back. They kind of pushed the receiver as he's coming down the field. They kind of pushed him to his left so the ball went long.
That would have to be a real perfect pass down the sideline because you had the safety up top for Fulton closing in. So the window was not very huge at all. Austin-East took a shot. Unfortunately, they came up with nothing.
Second down and 10 for the Roadrunners, lined up at the 28-yard line. Johnson in the shotgun. Johnson takes the snap, hands the ball off. The ball going to his far right of the field and trying to get upfield. The key is to go upfield for AE, handling the ball for Austin-East, the Roadrunner Parker. And Parker only gained about a yard and a half on that play. So with the spot, it looks like it's spotted at the 29. So now it will be third down and about 8 yards to go, Jarvis.
Another third and pretty long, but
yes.
3rd and 8. Once again, high percentage passes. Don't take a shot unless you know you've got it.
Roadrunners in a shotgun. Johnson looking to his right, now to his left. Looks now down the field to the far right of the field, takes off with the football, doesn't look to dish the ball, but he tries to go forward, and he's tackled by about 8 Falcons, and we had one of the Falcons to dive in. He was still moving his legs, and one of the Falcons just dived in on the other 8 that had him under containment.
I wonder if that was a design run, Charles, or if he just figured, you know what, I'm just going to take that shot. I don't know if that was play call by the coaching staff or if no one was open. He didn't give his receivers a lot of time to get into the route, so it's kind of hard to know what happened right there.
I'm with you 100%. I think that was a coverage sack, but it does go down as a negative play. And Austin-East taking the snap on the punt, and the whistle is blown. Timeout called here, and the timeout called by the Falcons. They lined up now to pump the ball, and the punter on this particular conversion is Cantrell. He kicks the ball very short and high in the air, and it's going to bounce out of bounds, and it's being spotted. Look like an unkind spot now. Walking up is the official, I think more in the proper place, and he walks up and he spots the ball at the 48-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10, and the Falcons only have 48 yards to go to pay dust. The Falcons again move up to the ball. Smith being the quarterback under center, looks to his left, puts his hand under the center, both hands, and he looking to his left, staring to his left, throws the ball deep to the left of the field, and the ball complete, and a touchdown for the Falcons. That was a long bomb that seemed like it stayed in the air for 2.5 seconds or so, but it came down perfectly for the Falcons.
That play reminds me of the play that Austin-East tried to hit on their last possession down the field where they were unable to come up with the catch. Penny Smith did what we call a dime. He dropped a dime on the receiver for Fulton, and he placed it right there where only he could catch it between the 2 defenders of Austin-East.
And the Falcons lined up for the extra point, getting ready to make the snap. And the snap and the kick goes up, and the kick is good, making the score 14-0. Falcons kicking the ball off. This time it does not go deep. It goes a short kick, and the kick is fielded and spotted. It will be on the 30-yard line, and the ball was spotted for the AE Roadrunners, and they shall go on offense with the score 14-0 for the Roadrunners tonight. What a beautiful evening. Starting to cool off here at the Sam Anderson Field, but the Roadrunners must get hot at this time.
Give Austin-East credit. They were alert on that kickoff. Like you said, Charles, we thought they were going to go deep. They went short. You've got to get on that football. Austin-East was able to do that. Once again, give them credit. They are still in this game. I love the energy from Austin-East right now. That was a shot. Fulton tried to catch them sleeping. Austin-East was ready for it.
Give Coach Phillips credit. Good offensive play there in terms of receiving the ball. Keyshawn Johnson looks. He looks to his left, throws the ball to his receiver coming across the field, and the pass incomplete. And the pass going to Cantrell, and a little low on the pass there.
It was a little low. It looked like Fulton dialed up the pressure right there, and he just had to get rid of it. He had to go to the hot read, and unfortunately just didn't have enough on the pass to make it catchable.
And AE, I'm just very candid. This is one of the smallest teams I've ever seen for the Roadrunners, but candidly, they're holding their own with the Falcons right now on the offensive line and the defensive line, but not able to stretch the field with first downs. Does the Roadrunners come up with a 2nd down and 10, taking the handoff. Austin-East handed off from Johnson, and going down the field is Parker, gaining about 4 yards on the carry. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. That is the end of the first quarter, and the score at the end of the first quarter is the AE Roadrunners 14, the AE Roadrunners 0 tonight, unfortunately, and the Falcons 14. Well, folks, now we have the Roadrunners who will be taking the ball on the offense, and it's 2nd down and 6. So, Jarvis, you've got really 2 downs to get a first down. So they're flipping it around to 3rd down. I thought it was 3rd down, and it took the field marker a while, but finally we begin the second quarter, and they did flip it to a 3rd down, which that's where my notes were. So the Roadrunners taking the ball 3rd down and 6 for first down in the second quarter with a score of 14, Falcons 0 for the Roadrunners. Falcons in the shotgun, looking across the defense, taking the snap now is Johnson rolling to our right, coming right toward us, and he looks, backing up with the football, throws the ball in the air, and it could have been a grounding. A flag does go down, but I think his face mask was grabbed there, Jarvis.
Well, it looked like coming on our side of the field here, it looked like he had a receiver open. If he could have gave it to him, it looked like the receiver made a hook on towards the sideline, and he was open, but the quarterback was under duress, didn't see him. Unfortunately, that's a missed opportunity for Austin-East, because that could have been a first down.
Well, with this penalty, I think it's going to be the Falcons. Let's see how the officials are going to mark it off. They are stepping on the field, and they are marking it off in a negative. So this was a grounding, intentional grounding play, as Johnson was in the grasp and he threw the ball. So it will make it 4th down and 22 or so. So the Roadrunners.
Like a sack. So I mean, they're calling intentional grounding. That's pretty much like a sack there. Once again, special teams, Charles, is going to be huge for Austin-East. You need a terrific punt right here. You cannot continue to give Fulton short fields. It puts too much pressure on your defense at this juncture of the game.
A lined up to punt the ball, receiving the ball for Diggs is the punter, kicking the ball with his right foot, very low kick with a real blessed bounce. And Rollins with the ball, goes through one tackle, goes through the second tackle, looking down the field, he's ground and thrown out of bounds by 2 Roadrunners, and going out of bounds again, just as you said, Jarvis, going to give them great field position, and the ball will be marked at the 31-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 Falcons, and only 31 yards from pay dirt, getting another 6 points.
Well, the punt, it was kind of interesting, Charles, because it didn't go that far, but it took a nice bounce.
It did.
But It's hard to tell. Was that a good bounce for Austin-East or a good bounce for Fulton? Because it gave Daryl Rollins-Davis a chance to set up his blockers. It started out as a favorable possession for Abe, but it turned out to be a plus for Fulton.
Falcons lined up in the shotgun, taking the snap, looking down the field to Smith. Smith throws the ball and hits his receiver right in the hands. That's Roper that he hit in the hands. Absolutely perfect, and it happens in life. The ball was dropped.
Yeah, even Michael Jordan misses a dunk sometimes, so things happen. But the decisiveness from Kenny Smith right now, the quarterback at Fulton, his decisiveness right now, it's too easy. Austin-East has to get more pressure on him right now. He's going through his progressions way too easy.
Under center, taking the snap to Smith, faking and going to Rollins, and Rollins going backwards on the field. He's tackled by two road runners, a loss of about 6 yards on the play. That was a particular situation, I think, where Rollins was using his speed in his mind to go around the road runners, but he was tackled for a loss, so that's an 8-yard loss, so to make it 3rd down and 18 for the Falcons.
Austin-East front seven wasn't full. They ran to the ball carrier as you're taught in practice, and they took care of business. Now, let's see what Fulton can do in a 3rd and long situation.
Lined up in the shotgun of the Falcons, taking the snap at Smith. Smith looking down the center of the field, and the Falcons throwing a screen to Rollins. Rollins making a beautiful move, and he takes down one of the road runners with him. He's finally pushed out of bounds as he goes from the 30 to the 29 to a 20-yard line to the 19-yard lines and out of bounds. 1st down, Falcons. That's the way you get a 1st down. Austin-East did come down the field real fast on defense, but they were tricked because it was a screen and it was wide open.
Yeah, there was a sense there where the play caller for Fulton called the screen at the right time. That's when those things work. You got to hit them at the right time.
Timeout for the Austin-East road runners.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And the left side of Fulton's offensive line with Cooperwood and Skates is really the anchor for Fulton.
Taking a snap at Smith. Smith handing the ball off to Rollins. Rollins traveling very quickly down the field. Right side of the field. He goes to his 19, is the 20, 15, 5, and finally knocked out of bounds at the far side of the field. So that is a 1st down, Jarvis. 1st down for the Falcons. And so at this position, the ball has been marked at the 7-yard line. So it'll be 1st down and go for the Falcons. Falcons lined up quickly. Has Smith gone behind center, fakes the ball to his left, hands the ball off, and going down the field, uncontested for the Falcons, touchdown, Rollins.
Yeah, this is where, Charles, you use that big offensive line and you lean on the defense. When Fulton got that 1st down there, that's pretty much 3 downs where they could do anything they wanted, and they leaned on that offensive line, the size and power, and just pushed their way into the end zone for another touchdown.
Falcons line up for the extra point. The score 20 for the Falcons, 0 for the Road Runners. We're in the 2nd quarter with 10 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Ball spotted, comes down for the kick. Kick goes up, and the kick straight through the middle and good for the Falcons. Lining up and kicking the ball off for the Road Runners and for the Falcons, and the ball goes down to the 20-yard line. Coming down the field is A.E. A.E. moving the ball very quickly by Mobley. Mobley getting his opportunity to return the ball, and he does get positive motion with the ball and takes the ball down to the 29-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Road Runners in the 2nd quarter with 10 minutes and 6 seconds to go. The Road Runners at this point, Jarvis, as we said, have to get 1st downs, one after the other. That takes pressure off the defense. That gives you an ability in your mind to know we can get 1st downs and we can win the game. So the game is a lot better at 21-7, isn't it, sir?
Austin has to get some push in the trenches. I think if there's one thing that their offense has failed to do is get consistent push in the trenches.
Austin-East comes out in a shotgun. Johnson looking, motion on the field by Williams. Johnson rolling to his left, looks deep, throws the ball left, out of bounds to Williams, and the pass is incomplete. So
he had a man open right across the middle, but with the pressure that Fulton's getting on him, he's not able to go through his progressions. But that's, again, there was a guy that had some green in front of him. Unfortunately, just didn't see him.
No matter what level you're on, NFL, college, or high school, when you got that kind of pressure, you don't have an opportunity to look at your second option. So the ball going incomplete, 2nd down and 10, Road Runners in the 2nd quarter. Johnson looks and makes a motion and then comes over and looks at his offensive coordinator to get a different play because of the lineup of the defense, and the Road Runners now go under center as Johnson looks, takes the snap in the shotgun, runs the option. Coming wide are the Road Runners, and he is contained by 2 Falcons, and going down it does Williams. So Austin-East with Parker not able to gain yardage again, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Well, it looked like Fulton once again was not fooled by that play at all. They had the rush on the whole time. Unfortunately, when you call those screens, like I said, and when you call those options, they have to be timed just right. You got to catch the defense slipping. Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
We had a flag to go down, and flag being picked up, and there was a penalty, and 10 yards going back are the Road Runners. So at this position on the field, it makes it a 2nd down and 20 yards to go. 2nd and 20. Actually, Keyshawn Johnson comes over to his offensive coordinator, Coach Holston, to get some direction. Now coming back on the field, and they're in a huddle. So in this huddle, let's see if we're going to get a play out to gain some yards, and I think you gain it 10 yards at a time here, Jarvis. Johnson looking over the defense. Fulton moving on defense, and Austin-East sending 2 players out wide, settled on, and the ball comes up. Looking down the field is Johnson going to his left. He does not throw the ball, and he is sacked as Johnson. Johnson was looking down the field, but no movement in terms of getting rid of it and throw it out of bounds. Tackled by Stokes for a tackle for the Falcons. So in this particular situation, you know, it's easy to say, but either you throw it out of bounds or you always want to get positive yardage. In this case, making a 3rd down and 20. What 3rd down and 20 play do we have here, Jarvis?
Run up the middle.
Okay. You know, I know you well enough. I knew that was coming. Take the safe way out. Don't take any turns. I believe they're going to try to throw it here, Jarvis. Austin-East lined up in a shotgun. 2 receivers wide left, the ball coming, and the ball going straight up the middle by Keyshawn Johnson. He goes for 6 yards, tackled by 3 Falcons. So the Road Runners gaining 3, and actually they only need about 17 more yards. So it's going to be 4th down and 17 to go for the Road Runners, going in a punting position. The Road Runners lining up to punt the ball. Punting the ball for the Road Runners is Cantrell. Cantrell punting the ball from the goal line. Good snap. Kick goes up in the air. A short, wobbly kick that gets a funny bounce, bounces out of bounds about the 46-yard line. Falcons line up under the ball. Penny Smith takes the ball, pitches the ball, goes off to Rollins. Rollins takes a very quick step going to his right, clearing the field, going down. He's to the 5, the 4, to the 3, to the 1. Touchdown. Kneeling in the end zone is Rollins after very quickly getting to the end zone.
You know, we talk about chunk plays. Chunk plays don't always happen in the air. They can happen on the ground. And right there, Fulton did something that we don't see a lot of in Charles these days. They got the I formation, got behind the fullback as the lead blocker, and he just turned upfield. That's a knockout punch for Fulton's offense in the first possession.
It's a flag thrown on the field, and the officials picking up the flag. Looks like it's going to be a backup on the football here. Looks like they're going to call the touchdown back. The flag is waved off, and it's called touchdown Falcons. Now, that is unusual. The reason unusual is because we had the consultation there, and the consultation took about 50 seconds or so. And then we had a little bit more conversation with another official. So I thought the flag was going to stick, and flag was waved off. So
maybe
touchdown.
This efficient crew, Charles, needs some instant replay to look back at that one.
Rollins Davis on the score, put it on the board, and that makes the score 27 for the Falcons. Line up and kicking the ball, squibbly kick. It is called good. Falcons lined up to kick the ball. Is 28-0 here tonight at the Sam Anderson Field, and the Falcons kicking the ball deep. Goes the football caught at the 10-yard line, coming down the field now, taking the right side of the field is Williams, and he's gain tackled. You know, this really could be a flag thrown, but no flag thrown. He was pushed out of bounds as Williams at the 24-yard line. What will be 1st and 10 Road Runners at the 24-yard line. Road Runners lined up to take the ball. Johnson in a shotgun, looking for the snap, taking the snap and going straight down the field. Johnson, he's tackled by number 54 for the Falcons, and that would be Petty, taking a real strong look and coming up on the ball very quickly. Petty from his linebacker position to make the tackle. The Road Runners now are huddling, and this may be their best approach to kind of get it organized and know we're all on the same page. There's not been any illegal procedures on offense called tonight, so the Road Runners now lined up again. Seem like 100% of the time tonight taking the ball in the shotgun. Johnson lines up, takes the handoff in the shotgun, hands it off, reverses the field. Williams comes down, kind of stutter steps, gains 5 yards. He's tackled by the Falcons, and the play does net about 5 yards, tackled by Satterfield. So what we have is that was good pursuit on the ball, because we did see our Austin-East Road Runners clear the defensive line, but we didn't have quick movement up the field, and it was just a good tackle, one-on-one tackle.
Well, one thing for Austin-East, 3rd and short here as they move the chains. You've got options. Let's see what they come up with as they try to get a 1st down on this drive and keep the momentum going.
3rd down and 4 for the Road Runners. Looking across the field, and Johnson takes a snap. He looks, reverses the field, throws across the field, complete. And coming forward and then going back, and he may have backed up as he was trying to make progress on the far end of the field for the Road Runners, and it may be enough for the 1st down, and it is 1st and 10 Road Runners. That's good to see, Jarvis.
It is good to see. Did they give him forward motion on that? Is that what we saw?
I think your vision is as good as mine. He had a 1st down, and he went backwards, and it looked like it could have been spotted short.
I think the referees gave him forward motion. That's not a bad thing because it is a 1st down. Austin keeps the ball. Let's see if they can keep this going.
1st and 10 Road Runners at the 35-yard line. Taking the snap, Johnson rolling to his right, coming very quickly down the field, looking and going out of bounds. The one thing that I think that it would be good for Johnson, and I know that he's been under a lot of pursuit, would be to throw the ball away rather than take, in this case, about a 6-yard loss, because he went out of bounds trying to avoid the tackle.
If Austin's coach has any hair right now, he's pulling it out. That's the worst thing you want your quarterback to do besides taking a sack, because his lost yardage, to your point, if you throw it out of bounds, you live to fight another day. But if you go out of bounds, you put tremendous pressure on your offense.
Well, he got a favorable spot, so it's 2nd down and 12 Road Runners. The Road Runners now at your 32-yard line and going to the right of your radio. The Road Runners lined up this evening. Johnson looking for the snap. Now he looks over at his offensive coordinator, and he looks at Coach Costin getting a play, and someone has taken a timeout or a delay of game, one or the other. So we do have a flag down, call a delay of game. So Johnson wanted a change in play at some read that he took on the defense. He didn't like the play that he had called, He looked over for help from his coach, didn't get the play in time, and a delay of game. So that still makes it second down and call it 17 yards. 17.
Now that puts even more pressure, Charles, on them because remember he went out of bounds for the loss of 6 yards.
Right.
So you put on top of that the penalty. That's why you got to find your favorite teacher you don't like in school. You remember that? And throw the football at them. Live and fight another day.
Johnson takes a snap, throwing the ball very quickly down the field to Williams. Williams taking and dragging a player down the field, taking the ball for 1st and 10 Roadrunners. Williams going to the 48-yard line. Williams doing a great job and taking the wide out position and going down the field, receiving a pass, beautiful pass thrown by Johnson. 1st down, Roadrunners. The Roadrunners now having the ball at the 48-yard line, moving the ball against the Falcons.
Williams has a lot of talent. I think Williams is one of those guys that could start for Fulton. He's that talented. You got to get him the football.
Falcons take the snap. Johnson looking again to his left, throws the ball, and it falls to the left of Williams and incomplete. I think that was a miscommunication.
Sometimes that happens, but give Austin-East credit. They are fought back. They were in a 3rd and long. That was a hole that they were in. They fought out of it, and as they're marching, this is as close, I think, Charles, they've been in the game all so far as they're hovering around the 50-yard line.
The ball second and the 48-yard line, so the Roadrunners need 52 yards to get to pay dirt. Roadrunners lined up in an offense with a shotgun formation, 2 wideouts to the right. AE taking the snap, Johnson taking off down the field, making and shaking and making moves as Johnson taking down by the Falcons after a gain of going to his left. Campbell with a great tackle. Now, we again see Johnson looking to the sidelines. He looks like he was injured on the run, but that was a called run. He took the ball and went straight up the field, and he did gain 7 yards, so now it's 3rd down and 5 for the Roadrunners.
I like that play call, Charles. It's a safe one. You have your athletes. You get your blockers set up. They can't block everybody. It allows your quarterback to make something happen. Great play call.
3rd down and 5, Roadrunners in a shotgun. Johnson lined up to take the snap. Makes a call, snap comes back. Johnson rolls again, coming to our right, moving very quickly to the field and avoiding 2 tacklers and making a great run as Johnson, 1st and 10 Roadrunners, starting to get better for the Roadrunners. And I want to tell you, Jarvis, the more the offense is on the field, the better the defense feels about it, giving them a rest. This is the first time tonight we've seen the Roadrunners move the football. So the Roadrunners now lined up at the 38-yard line, headed toward the end zone. Johnson quickly in the shotgun. The offense set, looking 2 wideouts, take the snap, hands the ball off. Going left is Williams, going backwards 4 yards. It's in pursuit. The Falcons still going backwards, goes backwards and pushed back all the way back to the 49-yard line. Looks like 8-yard loss on the play.
What I like about Johnson's run for a minute, I like the fact that they're getting him out on the edge. Once again, you have all your blockers right there, so he's able to pick and choose his hole. You can't run east and west on Fulton's defense. It has to be north and south. You can't afford to go lateral with this type of team. But this drive has been one of the most impressive drives for Austin-East so far in the game. I'd like to see some more quarterback option. I think they found something there.
The Roadrunners now lined up after the timeout. The score 28-0 for the Falcons here at the Austin-East Stadium. Taking the snap are the Roadrunners. Johnson looking left, throwing the ball to his right, complete. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down as we had an 8-yard gain there. See how it's marked. So with the ball marked as it is, it's still 3rd and 15 yards to go for the Roadrunners. So this will be a challenge right here.
They were able to pull a Houdini earlier in this drive. We'll see if they can do it twice.
The Roadrunners looking over for a play. The offensive coordinator, Costin, signaling in a play. Johnson receives the play, having 2 wideouts to go far left, one being the very dangerous Williams. He's lining up correctly now on the field, was out of position. The Roadrunners getting ready to take the snap. Johnson in the shotgun takes the snap, look down the field, wide open, he's got time, throws it, intercepted. The ball intercepted, and the Falcons coming down the field, stutter steps, coming down the field and tackled at the 50-yard line for the Falcons, and That was a mistake. Hawkins making the interception. Mistake by Johnson, or just a miscommunication. The ball really was thrown out of position. Row runners lined up. Smith under center, looking across the field, has a player going motion. Fakes the handoff to Rollins, looks down the field. He's a left-handed quarterback coming to his left, coming down the field, gaining 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards, going down the field, makes it all the way down, coming down the left side of the field to the 28-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds by the Road Runners. And it was a matter of the retreat of the defensive back, no defensive end in view or linebacker, so it was a lot of freedom for Smith to go down the left side of the field. 1st and 10 for the Falcons as they're quickly lined up to the ball at the 28-yard line, 28 yards from the end zone. Smith fakes a pass to his left, throws the ball across the field to the left to the wide receiver. The ball bounces and called complete to the Falcons. Looked like it bounced. Called complete to the Falcons. To Roper, 1st down and goal for the Falcons. Falcons now lined up at the 9-yard line, and the clock is moving. That looks like a favorable spot. Looks like they're spotting at the 6-yard line. Falcons coming up to the ball now. Smith directly under center, takes a snap, looks to his left, throws a fade pass. Beautifully thrown, beautifully caught. Touchdown, Falcons. That was execution.
Execution, that's the second dime that Penny Smith has dropped in this game. Just a beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Once again, the quarterback put it where only the receiver could get it in the corner of the end zone. You've got to have skills to make those type of throws, Charles.
That pass was on the money. It was a fade coming to the left side of the field, and when the pass was released, the receiver was not there. It was a floating pass, but it was thrown right on the money. Touchdown.
Those are difficult throws to make. You see those on Saturday. Penny Smith is also one of those seniors that's being heavily recruited by colleges across the country. And the good thing for Austin-East, they're gonna keep kicking deep unless we get another surprise, which will give Williams a chance to set up his return, and we'll see what he can do there.
So the score is 35. They did call the extra point good as our scorekeeper is catching up with us. 35-0 for the Falcons. The ball goes out of bounds, and as of the new rule a few years ago, Austin-East will take the ball on the 35-yard line. And yes, Jarvis, I'd rather have it on the 35 than the 14, so that's going to give the road runners some opportunity.
You've got a minute and some change to go, Charles. Once again, you're on the 35-yard line. If you can call the right series of plays here, you've got to be a little loose with the football because you're trying to get points. If you're Austin-East quarterback, you can't afford to give the football back to the defense. This is where the quarterback has to show control of the huddle. He's got to orchestrate the field because it's a minute and change, and you've got to be aggressive right here.
Coming out, Johnson in his usual shotgun. And coming wide to the field is a road runner, McMahon, looking down the field. Now Johnson handing the ball off, and it's a delayed handoff coming down the field and actually running the ball from the backfield and coming past the line of scrimmage and coming to our right. The road runners going down at the 39-yard line, so a gain of 3 yards. So to be 2nd down, better spot for him here. 2nd down and 7. For the road runners, taking them off.
It looked like Austin-East was going to get a little bit more out of that play than what they did, but let's see what they do here.
Austin-East looking and getting ready to take the snap. Keyshawn Johnson takes the snap, looks to his left, takes off again with the football, pauses, stutter steps. Gain tackle by 3 Falcons, still driving with football, and the offense comes in, tries to push the defense off. Johnson has some awful strong legs. He was surrounded and pulled by 4 Falcons and still drove.
Austin-East needs to pick up the pace or call a timeout because the clock is ticking right now.
Thank you for your ticks. It's 55 seconds to go. The clock is stopped for the movement of the flags and for the officials to get lined up. 1st down and 10 at the 45-yard line, or the road runners moving with the football. So you're right. As the top clock is still ticking, the road runners taking the ball, Johnson looking across, looks to his left, takes off with the football, fakes a handoff, and the clock now 41 seconds and moving very rapidly. A timeout has been taken by the Roadrunners. Roadrunners getting ready to take the snap. They hand the ball off. The ball coming wide to the field and backing up on the field and getting tackled in the backfield for the Roadrunners is number 21 for the Roadrunners, and that would be Mobley, as he is very quickly tackled. And the clock is still moving, 28 seconds to go, and we have a timeout. You know, it's kind of unusual. The Falcons have called this timeout. And we do thank you for being with us as A is lined up on offense, getting ready to go with the ball at the 40-yard line, 3rd and 15. Johnson takes a snap. He looks left, and he throws across the field. The ball hitting the ground. Just not a good release of the ball, and the ball goes very low and incomplete. The ball was thrown at Blair, but Blair didn't have an opportunity.
No, Blair didn't. He was open, but that ball was thrown at the feet of him. He possibly could have caught it and turned upfield. Who knows what would have happened there, but like you said, poor release by the quarterback. As a result, Fulton gets what they want, the football back before going into half.
And Keyshawn Johnson's a very good quarterback, just one of those throws that I'm sure he'd like to have back. A taking the snap, taking a slow kick, and the kick comes up, and it goes high but short and falling and backing up, and the ball comes down at the 38-yard line. Now, in this particular case, 16 seconds to go. I think a coaching tip here, if Austin-East had not touched the ball, then another 5 or 6 seconds would have run off the clock, because by downing the ball, that gives the officials an opportunity to blow the whistle. So they shouldn't have downed the ball. They shouldn't have touched it. They should have made the officials down the ball by time nobody touching the football. So at this time,
players era, but you know, once again, Austin-East is young. I will say this though, Charles, from last Friday to this Friday, they're playing a lot cleaner than they did a week ago. So I give Austin-East credit for that.
And we see a different offense. We have a triple wide receiver set, and the Falcons throwing the ball wide open is Rollins, and he goes down very quickly, does Rollins, and he's tackled on the field, and down is McMahon. McMahon making a wonderful tackle one-on-one, and he does take Rollins down, but he also down on the field and kind of shaking his legs, so he is hurt. Wish the best for him. As the Falcons taking the snap in the shotgun, looking down the field is Smith. He's a left-handed passer, throwing the ball deep and looking wide open, and the ball is really knocked down by Rollins, and that shall end the first half of the game. I've sent him to get information. He's done well. And as the AE Roadrunners kick off the ball starting the third quarter, the ball going to the left side of the field, received by the Falcons, reversing the field for the Falcons is number 21 on your program, Williams, and he only goes down the field for about 6 yards on the game, tackled by a host of Roadrunners. After the kickoff, the ball is going to be spotted at the 36-yard line, and 1st and 10, beginning this third quarter for the Fulton Falcons, who are leading the AE Roadrunners 35-0.
And Fulton will start with good field position to begin this game.
Fulton in a shotgun, just like the first half, looking across the field. Penny Smith takes the handoff, gives it to Rollins. Rollins goes down to the field to the right side of the field, goes through some resistance on the right side of the field, continues to go. Looks like he's getting from the 50, the 49 to the 48, goes out of bounds and pushed out of bounds. At the 45 is Rollins' super run of 15 yards, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Now the ball spotted at the 45-yard line, and they're moving the ball 45 yards from paydown. Taking the snap is Smith, handing the ball off to Rollins. Rollins to the 49, to the 48, now to the 30, very quickly reversing the field. Now going to the left side of the field to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and taken down at the 9 yards is Rollins. Is he fast or what?
I think with Fulton, you're already seeing it, Charles. Ball control is what they're doing right now. Let's run the football, eat that clock up.
Rollins was moving to his right, reverse the field with one quick pivot, went to his left, went through a tackle, and made it first down and 10. The ball spotted at the 10-yard line. The Falcons in a shotgun formation. Smith takes a snap, looks across the field, now looks to the other side, looks to his left, makes a motion with the ball, running, and he's tackled, and the ball is thrown and complete. It could have been called in the grass, but no call. The ball going complete to a Falcon on the field and complete to Roper. Touchdown, Falcons.
Well, once again, as we talked about, coaching adjustments being made at halftime. That's what we're seeing here from the Falcons.
The Falcons very easily moving the football both by land and air, being able to run the ball as well as throw the ball. Last pass going to the Falcon for a touchdown, and that was Roper. Lined up for the extra point, and the Falcons getting off on the extra point, the snap, the hold, and it's good. The snap is good by Coleman, and the kick is good by Coleman. Coleman good on the kick, and that should make the score 42-0 for the Falcons. The Roadrunners are lining up to receive the ball. If you're looking at your radio, they're going from our left, and they will be going, of course, to the right. And the Falcons looking at the field as we're sitting in the press box, getting ready to kick off from the right of the field. Ball is spotted at the 40-yard line, and the ball getting ready to be kicked. It's kicked and kicked to the middle of the field, landing at the 12-yard line and making an 8-yard progress, and tackled by a host of Falcons for the Roadrunners. The ball was received by Cantrell and tackled and swarmed very quickly.
Well, now, Charles, once again, we will see what the coaching staff has been able to do. The score, 42-0. You can't get it all back at once. You've got to be methodical about it. You've got to be precise on this drive. I don't expect them to run, and then throw an obvious third down. But you want to see some terrific play calling here as Austin-East tries to get their first touchdown of the game.
A back in the shotgun. A looking across with the offense. It's Johnson at quarterback. Johnson taking the snap, low snap, picks it up, hands the ball, delayed handoff, coming down the field very quickly with the ball. Parker goes 1 yard and tackled by the Falcons. And it's hard to single out a tackler because Fulton swarms the football with 2 or 3 tackles about every possession.
I think a quarterback draw is hard to call against Fulton's front 7 only because of the size of their front 7. I think that right there was a bad play call there.
That was a delayed handoff, Jarvis.
It was a delayed handoff, yes. But when you're an undersized offensive line, that's a lot to ask for your line to hold those big guys up front for that long period of a time. 2nd and 9,
the Roadrunners going back on this possession, throwing the ball complete and going down the field, coming to this side of the field to the 31, to the 32, and out of bounds at the 35 goes the Roadrunner for a first down. It's a Ligon for the Roadrunners. Progress was made by a good offensive pitch and throw. Ligon's on the reception.
Like you said, good read by the quarterback there. Put it where only the receiver could get it. One of the best throws that Austin-East has made tonight. As they get a down, let's see if they can get some more.
First down and 10 for the Roadrunners from the 35-yard line. Johnson takes a snap, hands the ball, quick delay handoff. Williams going to the left, reverses the field. As he reverses the field to look back, that was Parker reversing the field and goes down on the tackle. So as he had made a 3-yard progressive run trying to reverse the field, he takes it and makes a loss. Now it's going to be 9 yards to go for the first down.
Against a lesser defense, you can reverse the field like that. You can juke and jive. But when you're going up against a defense like Fulton, you got to take what you can get and keep on moving.
2nd and 9 for the Roadrunners. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Johnson takes a snap, swarm, fumble, and looks like the Falcons have covered the ball, and covering the ball for the Falcons is Jackson. So this is going to be a change of possession. Quite honestly, Jarvis, I think that Johnson is trying to do too much, and he has a lot on it.
I think you have to protect the quarterback. Protect the ball if you're Johnson. But to my original point before I stumbled about protect the quarterback, it looked like Fulton's front four got the best of Austin-East in the trenches. That play was blown up from the beginning.
Austin-East now lined up on defense, getting a player off the field. Number 21, Mobley, comes off the field. Austin-East now lined up on defense. We have the Falcons as Smith looks over, gets the play, goes down the line, calling a play. Now behind center, getting ready, takes the snap. As he hands off the ball, Davis, Rollins, as he makes several stutter moves, going down the field to the 20, to the 19, 18, 14-yard line. He's pushed to the side at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10, Falcons.
Once again, Fulton lines up in the I formation, and they get that big fullback out there. Once again, Charles, a lost art in football, high school football these days. Everybody wants to spread you out. Fulton went power football there and got a huge first down as they're knocking on the door.
We have an AE player down on the field, and this looks like we have just the old muscle cramp situation, not a bad injury. And that was James on the injury coming off now. Just looks like muscle cramps. Falcons lined up. Austin-East crashing in on defense and then going back. Snap goes off. Rollins going straight down the field through at the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2. Touchdown. Rollins, it looks like, on the carry.
Once again, when you're that close, when you're in what they call the red zone, Charles.
Flag going up on the field. Touchdown is called.
When you're in the red zone and you've got a big offensive line like Fulton, you lean on those guys. And that's what Fulton did for the second time tonight in the red zone. They had Rollins Davis run up the middle and run behind that big offensive line.
And the AE team, if you look at on the field at them, and they are really much smaller than the Falcons, and the Falcons have more than twice the players of the Roadrunners. But the touchdown is good, making the score 42 and adding, getting ready to kick an extra point, 48-0 for the Falcons.
Well, if you're AE right now, look, it's not time to pack it in. You've got third quarter, fourth quarter.
We have Fulton, and they'll be kicking off at the 45-yard line. There was a penalty called against Austin-East after the touchdown. It was an unsportsmanlike penalty. So this kick shall go through the end zone if it's untouched, and it goes through the end zone, touchback. So, yes, Jarvis, we have a 1st and 10 for the Roadrunners. 80 yards to go, and Austin-East looking for its first score in this game, the score being the Roadrunners 0 and the Fulton Falcons 49 with 5 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the third quarter.
I want to see them take a couple of shots with Mr. Williams from Austin-East. I want to see them highlight him on this drive. They need to get going and get going fast.
The Roadrunners lined up in a huddle. The Falcons are already out on defense, lined up on the field, and the Falcons have a real good defense, and this is a game that we haven't had an opportunity to call too many players out individual because we have a host of players going on defense and making a tackle together. Austin-East lined up again in the shotgun as Johnson still at quarterback, looking for the snap. Should be an offsides, not an offsides call or an illegal procedure, but we have a change in quarterback now, Jarvis, and the change is Williams, number 2 for Austin-East. Did take the last snap and looking to come off the field, goes back on the field. So Johnson out, Williams in at quarterback. Austin-East calling a play in the huddle. This will be 2nd down and call it 11, really 10.5. 2nd down 11 for the Roadrunners in the third quarter with 4 minutes to go. Williams takes a snap, looks, throws a ball too wide to his right. Pass intended for Cantrell, but incomplete.
I think, unfortunately, Charles, you're kind of seeing Austin-East to kind of come off the tracks a little bit. I don't like this offensive possession one bit. They haven't really got anything out of it, and they've got to do a better job. If they're in jeopardy of giving the football right back in favorable scoring position for Fulton, if they do not get something out of this drive.
the Roadrunners tonight, as it's beginning to cool off here at the stadium, lined up on offense with a 3rd down and 11 to go, and the Roadrunners in the shotgun. We have an illegal procedure by the Roadrunners. A lot of times when you change quarterbacks, the offensive players are usually going with that first-team quarterback in practice, so it was a mistiming, and we do have an illegal procedure.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, Charles, as we go forward, we get a chance to talk to the coaches, if this is strictly because, hey, we need a change of pace, or is this something that they've thought about doing in practice? Has he been getting any reps with the first team? Because it seems like the coaching staff just pulled their quarterback aside, and they may be winging it here, and that's why we're seeing the offense kind of stagnant right now.
Well, if you're not doing well, sometimes you make a change. Williams in a quarterback for the Roadrunners in a shotgun, takes a snap, looks, makes some stutter steps, coming around to the right of the field, goes out of bounds, so that will be 4th down for the Roadrunners. 4th down, so they will be going in a punting possession. You know, there was a penalty, Jarvis, but that is a 4th down and 14. 4th down and 14 for the Roadrunners. So we've seen the Roadrunners only get into the scoring position of the field only one time tonight.
Absolutely, only one time tonight. And, you know, here, Fulton, once again, they're going to get the football in a favorable position. This is actually kind of dangerous for Austin-East because they could set up the return here and possibly run this thing back. Austin-East got 0 out of that last possession.
Cantrell takes the punt, kick and punts the ball from the end zone, standing at the goal line, and the ball bouncing very favorably for Austin-East. Fielded by Roadrunner number 26 on your program, Chandler. And the question is, why not let it bounce some more, Coach Jarvis? I want to see if the Roadrunners are able to make a stand here on defense, lining up with some different players. And the Falcons are coming on with a different quarterback. It's the first change of quarterback that they've had. It's like Diggs at quarterback for the Falcons. Diggs looks in a shotgun, takes the snap, hands the ball off, and it was really projected in terms of you could see very clearly what was going to take place. No fake handoff. It was a handoff going to the right side of the field and a quick tackle by a host of Roadrunners. It was Winston who got the ball and tackled very quickly. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons. Game slowed down now, Jarvis. It's 19 seconds and counting. Let's see if they'll get the ball off before the end of the 3rd quarter. 11 seconds. Diggs under the center, takes the snap, hands the ball off. Going left is Winston. Winston going to the 30-yard line, to the 25, 24, to the 22-yard line. Does Winston go extremely quick, going from the right side of the field and going left, and gets up with a limp. But that, too, looked like some 4-5 speed as we took off coming left with the football going through tacklers.
Well, Fulton is a deep football team. I mean, they have enough to fill out varsity and JV, unlike Austin-East. And you're seeing the freshness of Fulton right now as they're getting some of those backups in the game, getting them some quality reps. This is a Fulton team that they have a championship on their mind.
The score to begin this 4th quarter, as the officials now call for play, the score being 49 Fulton Falcons and 0 for Austin-East for the Roadrunners. The Falcons now with Diggs at quarterback. Diggs looking over the defense, looks at his offense, looks left to his offensive coordinator, Coach Black, looks back across, makes a signal, and now takes a snap, hands the ball off quickly, and tackled for a 2-yard gain is Winston, looks like, for the carry, and a host of Roadrunners coming in on the play. Austin-East did make good pursuit to the ball and were able to hold Fulton to only a 1-yard gain.
Once again, if you're Austin-East, still completely out on a run right now. Looks like Fulton, I'm not saying they've completely taken it to the house, but they're going very vanilla right now. If you're Austin-East, completely sell out on the run and see what you can do, but it looks like they're going to pass here.
2nd down and 9 to go for the Falcons at the 24-yard line. Ball, of course, taken by the quarterback, and the quarterback, Diggs, just takes off with the football. Diggs from the 20 to the 15 and tackled by the Roadrunners. several road runners converging on the ball. So it will be 3rd down and 5 for the Falcons. And this being the 4th quarter with 10 minutes and 52 seconds to go in this game at the George Dusty Lennon Stadium. The Falcons go into center as Diggs looking for the snap, calling signal, snap comes, quick pitch to number 44 for the Falcons going left, goes for 4 yards, 3 yards, and finally knocked out of bounds. Does the running back for the Falcons that was taped on the carry, and he gaining 4 yards, making it a 4th down and 4. 4th down and 4. Really, looking at the marker, it looks like 3.5. So we'll see if the Falcons will go for it here. Lining up on offense very quickly, going for it. Looked over at the sideline, coming up, going to call a play for the Falcons is Diggs, looking over to his right at the wide receiver, going for it on the 4th down and handing the ball off quickly. No resistance going into the end zone. Number 44 for the Falcons. See if they call it short of the end zone. They call it short of the end zone at the goal line. They call the stop right there, Jarvis.
What Fulton has done, once again, to recap what we're seeing here in the second half, they've completely took the air out of the football. They kind of fooled me earlier when they were in shotgun. I thought they might throw it. They have ran the ball consistently the past couple of possessions. They are eating the clock up.
1st and goal for the Falcons, converted on the 4th down. Diggs behind the center. Diggs getting ready to take the snap. Diggs takes the snap. Now he looks, takes off with the football, goes left, goes right, and goes in the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. Short distance to go. Easy way to get there.
That possession is what you call, Charles, flexing on them. What does that mean? That means they impose their will by lining up and running downhill, play after play after play till they got in the end zone. That's just old school power football. Fulton knows they have this game under wraps. They got the backups out there, and they're just eating that clock.
And the Falcons getting ready to add to their score. As we're in the 4th quarter, and 9 minutes and 1 second to go. And we're looking for the Falcons to take the snap as they do. Kick goes up and good. And making the score now, Falcons 56 points tonight, and the Road Runners kicking the ball off for the Falcons, and now receiving it for the Road Runners is Mobley. Mobley goes to the right of the field, goes from the 23-yard line and tackled at the 25. You know, the Road Runners, I think, are going to be opposed now by a lot of the second string of the Falcons, but the Road Runners still have a lot of guys who have played both ways on the field. And when you see 11 go on for the Road Runners, you see a lot of the same 11 that's been playing on both ways all night tonight.
And this is still a learning experience for the young Road Runners here. For a lot of those guys that normally don't get playing time, this is a chance for them to get some valuable playing time.
Road Runners lined up on offense. Looks like they have a 3rd quarterback in for the Road Runners. We'll check that. Road Runners in the shotgun, taking the snap, bad snap. Road Runners trying to recover the fumble. They do recover the ball as the snap was really a terrible snap. They have a new quarterback in the game, and it looks like Harper at quarterback for Aid.
Right now, Austin-East is trying to get as many valuable reps as they possibly can. At this juncture, Charles, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if they're going to score if they keep moving back instead of moving forward. But that is just where we're at right now. Both teams are playing reserves in this ball game. And it's in 4th quarter, we've still got about 7 minutes to go. But we're seeing a lot of backups from both squads out there.
You know, Austin-East does have a change of quarterback. They are in a shotgun. Have some new players on the field on offense. They take the snap, bad snap again. Quarterback takes the snap and is downed, and a loss again, going the wrong direction. So it'll be 3rd down and 20 for the Road Runners. So the Road Runners trying to get in some different players just to see if they get different results. But at this time, they are not getting different results. They are actually, in this possession, going backwards.
Yeah, once again, Austin-East has not found any rhythm here in the second half. We're not seeing, Charles, if there was any adjustments made at halftime, we're not seeing them. And, you know, some of that is credited to Fulton. They threw the knockout punch on the first play, but Austin-East has just put their backups in to finish out the second half.
Austin-East lined up in the shotgun, taking the snap. It's going in a shotgun and coming to the running back, coming down the field to our left, going for 3 yards in the game, and being stopped by a host of Fulton Falcons at the 18-yard line, so it'll be 4th down to go. So the quarterback for the Roadrunners is Wattring is the quarterback.
Well, now Austin-East is going to line up for, I lost count, what is this, their 8th or 9th punt of the game?
Well, you're the statistician of this game, sir, so I'll leave that on you. Austin-East lined up for the punt, and a timeout has been taken. Austin-East in a punting formation, and they need to get this punt out as they're punting from the end zone. The ball bounces, bad snap, low kick, the ball traveling down the field, fielded at the 50-yard line by number 12, Fulton Falcons, taking off straight down the field, weaving through many of the Roadrunners. Number 12 for the Falcons, that's Williams, going all the way down the field, and it's called, is it a call to touchdown?
We're waiting to see. We're waiting to see the call.
And it stopped at the 3-yard line. And it was tough to see from this perspective. There was a long pile up over there to the left, far left of the field, and they did call it a stop short of the end zone. Looks like they're spotting at the 3-yard line for the Falcons. But Williams kind of took it stutter step to his left and then took off and went down through the field and wasn't tackled until he got down to the 3-yard line. So
I didn't think he was even going to touch the ball, Charles, but he made a late second decision and went up turn field.
He made a very late decision there, but taking the ball and taking off as the Falcons hand the ball off and going to our left and call a touchdown from the 3 to the 2 to the end zone goes Williams for the Falcons. The Falcons tonight really have been very efficient on offense and definitely very efficient on defense, as the Roadrunners have not even gotten to the red zone tonight. But I want to tell you, Mr. Perry said that this is a young team, and he said give this team some opportunity, stay with them, because they do have some wins coming this season.
There has been improvement, Charles, from this week to last week. Austin-East not having the same mental lapses that they had a week ago. The defense, when Fulton had to go the length of the field in the first half, they stood toe-to-toe with them. We've seen some flashes from offense with the quarterback draw. We've seen them have some success on the ground dating back to last Friday night's game against Anderson County.
The kickoff being high in the air from the Falcons to the Roadrunners. Coming up to fill the football is bobbly, the ball falling short and kind of ugly. What's the possession here, Jarvis? As we're looking,
we're waiting to see, waiting for the pile up.
And
it looks like Austin-East.
And the ball being spotted, possession not being given yet. So the officials had to go through a conference.
It's going Fulton.
They went through a conference before they decided who the possession went to. Let's see.
I think this crew needs an instant replay. I think this crew all night has kind of had these moments where they're undecided as far as what the call is, who ball it is. It looks like it's Fulton. Is it Fulton?
They're confused. The teams are even confused. Fulton is coming out on defense, and Austin-East is on offense, but the possession was called. Fulton is on offense, so the possession is correct by the officials, what direction they wanted. Fulton takes the ball and going down the field, a new running back for the Falcons, number 44 that's getting the football tape. So it's kind of interesting when the fumble there, what happened, Mobley came up to fill the football kind of fell short of him and it went down on the ground. A bunch of players went for the football and the officials went out and spotted the football, but it was a conference call before they decided what the possession was.
And here's the thing with the kickoff, a difference between kickoff and a punt. A kickoff, it's a live ball. You don't necessarily have to touch it if your offense. Anybody can get the ball at that point as long as it goes a certain amount of distance. On punt, the offense has to touch the ball in order for it to be a turnover.
And this makes it 2nd and 8 for the Falcons. Falcons lined up with a new quarterback in the game, handing the ball off, are the Falcons and going for 10 yards and a gain. We have a new quarterback in for the Falcons, and that would be Green, and a new running back in the game. And, you know, from our perspective, Green really is a good-sized young quarterback. He is 6'2" and 188 pounds, so he being the third-string quarterback, playing now with 1 minute and 56 seconds to go and counting. And the score tonight, the Fulton Falcons 63 and the AE Roadrunners 0. And the clock is ticking off, but the Falcons are still getting an exercise by playing a lot of players on their team. Falcons going up now for their possession. And a shotgun is Green as a quarterback. Double set backs. Ball's handed off to number 36 going left on the field very quickly. And going through one tackle. Next tackle is Batts. And Batts taking the ball for a gain of 8. So it'd be third down. Is it third or second? We're looking for the flag over there. See, no flag. We're looking to see what down it's going to be, but it's going to be 2nd down and 3 for the Falcons to score 63-0. The clock is moving now with 57 seconds, 55. I believe the Falcons will get off another play here, Jarvis, before the end of the game. 63-0 Falcons tonight with 42 seconds down. The clock's moving very quickly as the Roadrunners are on defense. The Falcons going toward the end zone. They hand the ball off and just go straight forward, line pushing with the ball. 36 seconds now. If they want to score, they're going to have to move real quick. So the clock is going to delay just for a second for the movement of that may be the last play of the game. 22 seconds to count. Falcons looking over. I don't think they'll get another play off. And the score tonight in this battle between Austin-East, the Roadrunners, and the Fulton Falcons. The final score, Fulton Falcons 63 and the AE Roadrunners 0.